how do you flip a home?
How do you start? I would say making sure that you can afford to do it. I had to get financing. I was able to purchase the property first in cash, and then I pulled the equity out of the property and used that money from what the value would be if I were to do the renovation.
So you took the financing option and said, I'm going to do these renovations. And then the bank decided, yeah, that sounds about right. Or I'm guessing they would have to have an appraiser come out, right?
Right. It was me going to the bank saying that I wanted to pull this money out of it. And so at that point, they sent an appraiser out to the property. So I had to give them a list of pretty much my cost estimate. And so when the appraiser went out to the property, they assessed, how it looks now, how it's going to look after I complete these renovations that are listed on this cost estimate. And then they gave the bank a subject to appraisal.
What do you do for renovations when there's unexpected repairs that pop up?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think so for a normal home, most of the time somebody's living in the house, right? Like everything, they more or less know what needs to be repaired, what needs to be touched up. Normally with renovations, either the house has been sitting there vacant, no one has been living in it, so you don't really know the condition of all of the utilities or, like what works, what doesn't work. Um, or, maybe there is someone living in it that just isn't mindful about the things that need to be repaired. They've just kind of gotten so used to it that they're just in a routine. You just have to be really careful because, once things don't work out the right way, you definitely want to make sure that you are in a situation where you can handle the aftermath. Perfect example. I just got somebody to do AC work this weekend, and they completely redid the AC, right? They took the old unit out, put a brand new unit in, okay? The next day, the floor flooded. Clearly the AC people didn't do something right. Like they just came, put a new unit in. Now there's water leaking on the floors. They did something wrong. Well, no, it's just they have a new use AC unit, which is working great now. And it's uncovered the fact that the drainage line is backed up. Sometimes you fix one thing, and because it works at such a different frequency than it did before, it starts to uncover so many other issues. And so it's very hard, like, to estimate what exactly you're gonna need for a renovation.
So like in a normal real estate transaction, we're going to need to sometimes do repainting. If there are pink, green, blue walls, we might need to bring it to more of a neutral color. But usually we don't have to do flooring and paint. That's always been a question of mine. Like, which one do you do first? Do you do the flooring first or do you do the paint?
I've done it both ways. I've done it where I painted first and then I did the flooring afterwards. And I was laying down tile, and all of the grout and mud splattered onto the walls that were just painted. So I had to go back and touch that up. And then I've done it completely opposite where I was like, okay, lesson learned. Let me do it the other way. I let them do the floors first and then I painted afterwards. But because I was refinishing hardwood floors this time, all of the sand got onto the walls. And so I ended up having to go back and re-prep the walls for paint. It was just a lot. So it just depends. I think it depends on what you're doing, what kind of flooring you're doing.
So finding people to work on my own home is really scary, right? Where do you start to find the people to help you out with your home? I know you mentioned you do some of it, right? Or most of it. But how do you find the people to make sure it's done and done correctly?
Even with the experience that I have, I don't have the answer to that. It's just trial and error. There's just no other way to do it. You're trying out people that people cannot people that you trust can't necessarily vouch for. And so now you're the guinea pig. Um, and sometimes it ends up terribly wrong. And you just have to it's just part of the learning experience. That's the biggest thing with investing is there is no rule book. Soon as you
Hmm.
find that
You need the
team,
people.
soon as
Yeah.
you find that team, it's like, boom, I'm ready. Like you know your costs at that point, right? Like you know
Yes.
how much your subcontractors are gonna cost and charge you for how much they're gonna charge you for these repairs.
So builders usually like to list their properties before they're completely finished, right? With renovations, do you like to go ahead and list it when you're like 80% done? Or do you wait until you're fully finished, get photos, and then post it?
Definitely, definitely wait until I'm fully finished. It's already hard for people to walk into a home that's for sale and, try to imagine how great of a home it could be if they just did a little, renovating. It's hard to let
Hmm.
people imagine that, especially when they don't have a knack for that type of imagination.
I see that with a lot of my buyers as well. Walking into a home, if it's not ready to go, ready to buy, they go, let's go to the next one. They just walk out.
Yeah,
And so that kind
yeah.
of goes along with the sellers too of get your home ready for market before we market it.
I literally well, I guess I can't say that. I had somebody, literally there was one house available in the town that she wanted to live in, and it was in her price range. Okay. One house. There was one house available there. And she decided to back out of it because she thought that it was going to be too much work. And it's crazy because the sellers were willing to cover the cost of the work that needed to be done. They were gonna put new floors in it. They were gonna repaint. They were gonna do everything, but she couldn't see it. Like she just could not see it. It had terrible lighting. Like it just needed some new lights, some new fixtures, and she could not see the vision. And so she was like, "No, I think it's just gonna be too much work, and it's unfortunate, but
So essentially, when it comes down to it, have the property ready before we market it.
for sure."
Are there any other exit strategies if you can't sell it?
Mm. Find out if you can sell your house and move in. Something I can think of. I
I
can't
hope
think
you
of
did well
another.
on the renovation.
Yeah.